Welcome, friends, to another episode of That Whiskey Show. I am Chris, and this gorgeous lady is my wife, Joan.
Hey.
Tonight, we are bringing you a whiskey that neither one of us have tried. This is a brand new one. This is going to be the Basil Hayden's Straight Kentucky Rye Whiskey. This is 10 years aged, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're both pretty excited to check this out. I know Joni did some research on it, and would like to give a shout out to my brother-in-laws, Jeff and Mike. Thank you so much for the hookup, fellas. We appreciate it. They bought this as a gift for her, for us to do specifically on this show. So that's very cool. So like I said, fellas, thank you so much for that. And I'm going to let Joni kind of talk about some of the things she's found out about it, and then we'll get into drinking it.
Well, there's not a lot out there on this particular rye. This 10-year-old was just released this month, so hasn't been out on the market any more than like 20 days.
That's pretty cool.
So we're kind of going at it blind. I have what I know about the regular Basil Rye, which is Basil Hayden is part of Beam Suntory's Jim Beam Distillers Small Batch Collection. That is Basil, Booker's, Knob Creek, and Baker's. This is the lowest proof by far for any one of these. Everything else is 100 and up. Booker's gets up into 126, 127 territory on almost every bottling. So that's an exciting one.
Right. Well, and you can really tell, right, from what she was just saying about the low proof on this. Nosing it, I mean, you're really
extremely approachable.
Yeah, you're not really getting
mellow.
any ethanol out of it at all. This is it's actually very light and has a nice nose to it. Actually, I can't quite identify everything, but there's that dried fruit in there for sure.
Conventional wisdom on the regular Basil Rye says that it is just over 51% rye, so just nosing in there enough to be technically a rye. So it is an extremely low rye for being a rye. They are kind of putting the ryes out as a tip of the hat to their high rye style bourbon. This one being aged 10 years. I'm pretty eager to try it because their regular rye, which is non-age dated, is a straight rye, so it's at least 4 years old. But what they do is they take a portion of that regular rye, age it in quarter casks for 7 years. So that's going to be an oak bomb. That would be something that you would not really even want to try on its own. It would be so much oak.
Right.
So they use it almost as a flavor extract to flavor their regular rye. And I don't know if that is how they've done this one or whether they just set apart some of the best barrels and just aged it for 10 years in regular barrels. There is no information out there as of right now except for one 2-paragraph blurb on the Basil Hayden's home webpage. So if anybody does have any more information about that, that would be great to know. So
I gotta tell you, one of the things that's really standing out for me on this, are you getting like insane apple off of this?
Red apple. Yeah. Red delicious apple.
100%.
Yeah,
like that's
tons.
the thing I smelled the most. Like there was definitely that hint of the
I'm
dried fruit,
searching
but that,
for rye.
but I'm not getting
very
any of
little
that.
rye.
But the apple comes through this incredible,
It
especially
really does.
if
You put your finger on that.
if you give it a couple swirls and really let that open up and breathe for a minute, and then get in there. That apple is incredible.
It is right up front. Yeah.
Yeah. That
Apple pie. The baking spices and red delicious. So.
But you're right. I'm not getting
not much
that rye.
I'm not getting that cinnamon
No.
kick, that spicy kick, very muted baking spices.
No, really, really sweet on the nose. That red, delicious apple is definitely what I'm getting the most out of, and you seem to agree with that. And it's
I can get a little bit of just natural cassia cinnamon, but that might be like me convincing myself that it should be there.
Right? Because I'm telling you, it's like really delicious apple juice.
Yeah.
For me, with just the hint of the
really
ethanol in
delicious
there.
apple juice.
I'm just, I mean, I haven't
Imagine.
tasted it yet, but that's what I'm smelling. So,
Extremely, extremely easy to drink.
yes.
The tiniest little alcohol tingle, no burn as it goes down. This would be excellent to introduce someone to ryes that was a bit shy.
Yeah.
And really whiskey in general, because there is no burn to speak of. Tiny little tingle on the tongue.
Just a little bit, and a really, really long finish. Is that
That's
just?
that 10
I mean,
years.
that has.
That's 10 years in the barrel.
But it's.
There's a ton of water in this.
Yeah.
At 80 proof.
And once again, we did, and we've said it in quite a few of our episodes, to where I definitely like the smoother whiskeys. I'm definitely not necessarily a higher proof kind of person, but we talked about in the last video we did with the Old Forester how, you can have the higher proof and then water it down to your liking on it and take some of that harshness away. But this, like, just right out of the bottle, this is...
The finish is
I
really
like
nice.
this a
I
lot.
didn't expect a finish to be that
Right.
long.
So, because this is at 80
With how
proof, so...
delicate. It's really, it's a delicate flavor. And more apple. That apple just won't quit.
No. I have to say, I am a fan. For real. This is, and one other thing that we want to put out there too, just so, there's no mistake. We don't do these reviews to just say whiskeys are good. If I don't like something or she doesn't like something, we're going to be straight about that. So, I mean, but this is something that for first taste, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, this is a whiskey that I could drink for sure and be very happy doing so. This is
the kind of thing that I would absolutely drink while I'm doing something else. I'm not gonna spend... I'm trying to tease more flavors out of it, but...
It is kind of a one-note horse. I mean, I will give it that.
I almost like the nose better than the palate.
It's that apple. That apple just comes through like mad on this. But for me, I personally really like it because, once again, newer to whiskeys. While I enjoy exploring and kind of getting out there and tasting some of the ones she recommends, and she's trying to get me into a little bit more of the smoke and the peat, for me to just open a bottle of something I've never tried and just go after it, I like this very much. It's smooth. This is right up my alley.
It is definitely smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It's well balanced. Nothing really jumps out at you like on the nose. The apple jumping out at you is kind of a really pleasant surprise because red apple is such a gentle flavor in and of itself.
Yeah.
I would like a little bit more backbone. For something 10 years old, I want to taste the barrel a little bit more.
And I get that for you, for sure.
And I want more rye.
Yeah, I'm okay without it. I'm just, I'm okay without it. But that's just me. So.
I do love that nose. That I almost feel like the palate doesn't deliver on what the nose promises.
Right.
And I drink this incredibly fast. I feel like I could drink way too much of this.
And see, that's probably why I like it, because it's something that you can just kind of keep going if you wanted to, as to where something like the Old Forester or the Campfire West, Campfire West.
High West Campfire.
She knew what I meant. I couldn't keep kind of going after that. This I could really probably do a little bit of damage to this bottle.
And I put the
So-
barest amount of water in there just to see what a little
Yeah.
water does. Because there's a ton of water in there already.
So, and what's kind of nice is the fact that my wife, I guess, somewhat, maybe this isn't necessarily as complex as she would like it and doesn't have as many of the notes and flavors that she's looking for. I'm kind of happy about that because that kind of means this is my bottle.
That water brought even lighter fruits up. It's sweet and almost like, not cotton candy, but something like that. It's lightening up red fruits on this.
Yeah, it's still, for me, it's that apple. And I have to be honest, I actually preferred it much more before the water.
4 for 4 on that, or 5 for 5?
Yeah, I preferred it more.
Like
Well, no, the
yeah.
Forester I preferred with the water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but this one,
No, this I definitely preferred it before the water.
Mhm.
Interesting what it did to the nose. But even just 2 more drops, it's just it softens it down that much more.
right. Now, I will have to say, with rye whiskeys, and I'm sure you can see it, I get the rye whiskey alcohol sweats. And the rye really does that to me. I don't know if it's kind of a...
It's also warm in the house.
It is, but it's definitely, certain whiskeys will definitely bring that out, and this one definitely is bringing it out. But, you know,
It's
that's
76 degrees right now. It's warm in here.
okay. And I'm drinking whiskey. So, but yeah, as she said earlier, this would be a good one to get someone started on a rye whiskey if they were interested in trying one out and starting smooth.
And this is a limited release, so if you are interested in getting a bottle, I would get one. Limited release doesn't really actually mean anything specific other than that it will be gone at one point.
Right. What is a bottle of like this run?
60-ish.
Okay. Yeah, I would
60
pay,
to 70
I would pay
depending on your
$60
market.
for this for sure. I mean, absolutely. Yeah.
It's very understated, elegant, delicate. Nothing in your face about it at all.
Yeah.
Bright, great timing on the release.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really good summer whiskey. The lightness and the brightness in the nose
Right.
makes it absolutely, you could drink this on the porch. Whereas you probably wouldn't want to sit on the porch on a 90-degree day with a glass of 127 proof Bookers.
Nope. I certainly wouldn't.
I
So
wouldn't mind.
yeah, this on a chilled, whether you have it on the rocks or you just throw it in the freezer for a little while to chill it down. This is definitely a good summer afternoon whiskey to enjoy on the front porch for sure.
I could definitely try to make a Sazerac out of this. This might be, it's delicate. It could deal with a little bit of sweetness, but not too much. Sazerac doesn't have a lot of sweetness.
Right.
I think absinthe would make this. Yeah, I'm gonna try Sazerac with this.
All right. Well, before we start going into an entire making a Sazerac video, we hope, as always, that you enjoyed this new episode of That Whiskey Show. If you're digging it, we super appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming and checking it out. Once again, this is just something that's a thrill for us. It's fun. It's a great way for us to spend some time together, try some new whiskeys, and enjoy stuff like that. So, as always, thank you so much for checking it out. We do truly appreciate it.
Thank you.